before I begin, I want to introduce the presence of some of my colleagues and other partners from across the county that have joined us today in the order that you'll hear from them. First, we have Lake County Prosecutor Bernard Carter, the Gary Police Chief Brian Evans, Councilman at Large, also Public Safety Chairman Ron Brewer, Vice President of the Common Council Ty Atkins, Deputy Mayor Trent McCain, and Deputy Chief Michael Jackson. Thank you all again for coming out. As you are aware, a couple of days ago, one of our officers was severely injured in a shooting, Officer William Fazekas. As a result of that, we collaborated with Lake County Sheriff's Office as well as other law enforcement agencies across the county to bring a swift and speedy end to that situation that occurred. The officers not only responded to the scene immediately, but shortly thereafter they were able to apprehend the suspect at or close to the scene. I, as the mayor, certainly am grateful for their actions and want to commend all of the officers, certainly our Gary Police Department, Lake County Sheriff's Office, and all of the other officers and agencies from across the county who joined to help in the search and apprehension of the suspect. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the residents in the immediate area who also stepped up to give assistance and brought us to the point that we are today. In doing so, I want to mention the bravery of two officers who were the first to respond to the scene, and that would be Officer, his name escapes me only because just thinking about it a lot, but in any event, that was Officer Gutierrez, Reserve Officer Gutierrez, and Officer Briggs of the Gary Police Department. Both of those gentlemen showed tremendous bravery and courage in the light of the situation, and again, were able to help us bring an easy resolution. Finally, I want to close before I bring the prosecutor up and say that we do not live on an island called Gary. We have shown time and time again that we work best when we work together. And in this instance, that collaboration certainly brought this situation to the point we are today. And as the city of Gary and certainly Gary Police Department, we embrace that type of collaboration and want to certainly express our deep gratitude to everyone who helped us get to the point we are. Without further delay, Prosecutor Carter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much, Mayor. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Bernard Carter. I'm the Lake County Prosecuting Attorney. Today, at approximately 1 o'clock, we filed charges, criminal charges against a Tremar Cooks Jr. Count 1 is attempted murder. It's a level 1 felony in the state of Indiana. The probable cause affidavit and information states that William Downs, upon oath, says that on about February the 7th, 2022 in Lake County, state of Indiana, Cameron Damar Cooks, while acting with the intent to intentionally shoot and kill Detective William Fazekas by shooting him and wounding him with a rifle, a deadly weapon, contrary to Indiana statute. Count 2 is aggravated battery. It's a level 3 felony in the state of Indiana. States that William Downs, upon oath, says that on about February the 7th, 2022 in Lake County, state of Indiana, Cameron Cooks did knowingly or intentionally inflict injury to Detective William Fazekas as it created a substantial risk of death or caused serious permanent impairment or disfigurement, protracted loss of impairment of the body and members of the organ, contrary to Indiana law. There's 3 counts of resisting law enforcement, which is a level 6 in the state of Indiana. And I'll read the first count, and they're all very similar in nature. But the first count is William Downs, upon oath, did state on February 7, 2022, the County of Lake, state of Indiana, Cameron Cooks Jr. did knowingly or intentionally forcibly resist, obstruct, or interfere with Detective William Fazekas, law enforcement officer, while the officer was acting and engaging in lawful duty as a law enforcement officer in the state of Indiana. In addition to that, we filed an additional count, striking a law enforcement animal. It states that William Downs, upon oath, on about February 7, 2022, the County of Lake, state of Indiana, Cameron Cooks Jr. did knowingly or intentionally strike, torment, injure, or mistreat Rocco, the law enforcement animal with the Gary Police Department. The count attempted murder level 1 carries a maximum sentence of 40 years, a minimum of 20 years. The aggravated battery is a level 3, carries 3 to 6 years. And the resisting law enforcement, we have multiple counts, carries anywhere from 1.5 years to 2.5 years. Those years could be stacked in addition to the 20 to 40 under the felony charge. Bond has been set at $140,000 and $14,000 in cash if posted by cash. I want to remind everyone that these are allegations. The defendant is presumed innocent until such trial. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Edwards, Gary Police Department, and I want to first update you on the condition of Officer Sergeant Fazekas. Sergeant Fazekas underwent surgery yesterday to reconstruct his arm and to help him regain the use of it. We're waiting to see if that surgery will prove successful, if he will have additional surgeries and can return home to his family. We expect him to have a long road to recovery, and we're thankful that he's still with us. In addition to that, I would like to thank 2 officers specifically, Donald Briggs and K9 Rocky, as well as Daniel Gutierrez. They definitely saved his life when Daniel Briggs applied the tourniquet to his arm, which definitely stopped him from bleeding to death out there on the scene. And Officer Gutierrez helping in apprehending him or finding where he went so we can get him. K9 Rocky took him down for us without incident. We were able to bring him in. I also want to thank everyone of the Gary Police Department, Lake County Sheriff's Department, all of our federal partners, ATF, FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and every single department in Northwest Indiana who contacted me before I got to the hospital and said that they were on the way. We are a family here in Northwest Indiana. We work together collaboratively. In Indiana, we all are together when we come to anything in law enforcement, anything in the community. But I also want to reserve a special thanks to our citizens who immediately cooperated with us, gave us tips, offered videos from doorbell ringers or wherever they had it in our businesses. Our citizens are the best and they always support us, and we thank them from the deep bottom of our heart. At this time, I want to introduce Commander
Mike Stewart, Commander of the Detective Bureau from the Lake County Sheriff's Department. Our department handled the investigation and the criminal charges that were put forth in this case. During the last several years, Sheriff Oscar Martinez has worked extensively with Gary. We have a very close working relationship with Gary. And the law enforcement community in Lake County, all the departments, is a very close-knit family. So when one of our officers goes down, everybody responds. On that day, there were representatives from every department within radio distance that showed up here to help locate evidence, find the suspect, check the perimeter, make sure that there was no further threat to the public safety. And through everybody's efforts, we were able to secure enough evidence and enough testimony and witnesses, etc.,